Hello there. You're listening to the Box Office Show. I'm Ryan Hill.
And I'm Dylan Johnson. Today we're going to talk about the box office numbers from last weekend and our box office predictions for this upcoming weekend.
And take the wax out of your ears because it is finally time to discuss Christopher Nolan's latest IMAX film 3-hour blockbuster, The Odyssey.
Jump right into some news. Comic-Con happened recently, and we have a couple of big Marvel announcements. The last thing anybody saw coming, a Ghost Rider movie. A lot of predictions as to what that movie slate was going to be in 28, and a lot of wrong guesses apparently. It is Ghost Rider, starring Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider and directed by Sean Levy. I don't know if I care about this. It's a weird turn for Ryan Gosling to make right now.
Yeah. He's on a run for sure.
He's on a big run.
He's
got a Star Wars movie coming out
for big movies lately.
And following Star Wars to follow it up with Ghost Rider with Marvel, which has not been very hot recently, is definitely a bold choice. So we'll see.
Yeah. So again, I've never been really attached to Ghost Rider. Having seen the movies with Cage. So
yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, I guess I'll check this one out. But yeah, it was definitely not one that I was anticipating, and yeah, certainly not expecting that. But what I was expecting was to hear some news about Black Panther 3. It's Ryan Coogler, also on an insane run lately, so we're excited to see what he does with that. It is coming out 2028. I think it has a December slot, so that'll be the big holiday film that year. And big casting announcement: David Johnson will be the new Black Panther. T'Challa's son. Dave Johnson was in The Long Walk. He was also in Alien Romulus.
Great actor.
Synthetic in that one. So yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. Here's my question. What's going on with the timeline in the MCU?
Huge time skip right here.
Because I'm like, that dude is older than us.
Yeah.
And it's not that close.
It's like a 30-year time gap. I mean, I think he can play under, like younger. I think he could play like 22, 23. You know, like he looks pretty young.
Yeah, but I could just from like seeing the work he was in, I was like, this dude is not. I was like, he's older than us. Like I was expecting him to be older than us, and he sure is. He's like 30.
So like it's gonna be like a 20-year time skip there.
And yeah, so that'd be a hefty time skip. I mean, the kid in Black Panther 2 was, how old is he? Because he was supposed to be.
It's like 6.
It was like pre-snap is when she got pregnant, right? And then there's
like
the 5 years, and then I don't know how long after everyone came back is when that happens. So yeah, 5 or 6, something like that. It's like, okay, and then how long has it been since then?
Like 3 more years. So he should be like 10. You think David Johnson can play a 10-year-old?
He's a very good actor. I don't know if he's that good. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yes, they'll have to age him up in the MCU timeline another 8 years at least. But again, it's like, so what's the arc going to be? Because I would assume it would be like, oh, he's trying to step into his father's shoes. He's the prince now becoming the king, assuming the throne.
Yeah. But isn't that just a rehash of Black Panther 2's plot?
Well, that was my other question, because like, didn't we do that of like
Letitia Wright stepping up to become Black Panther?
She had to become the Black Panther, but obviously her real life stuff may have played a role in how they're like, well, let's not have her be the main face of it anymore.
Sure.
So I don't know. So then that would just be like rehashing that particular plot line. But again, however old they age him up to be, like he has to be kind of coming into his own as Black Panther, right? Like, is he just going to have already been Black Panther for years and years? Because that would be a 20-year time skip. So
yeah, I mean,
not sure how it's going to go, but always.
He's from the future. He comes into the past from the future.
Well, that's what they could be holding on to. They're saying it's T'Challa's son, but it could just be with the whole multiverse, Secret Wars shenanigans. It could just be T'Challa from another dimension.
A multiverse T'Challa or something.
His world gets destroyed or something, and then he ends up here. So I don't know. We'll see. But let's dive into the box office breakdown for July 17th to the 19th. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, of course, took the top spot, and it had a debut of 123 million.
Good God.
Massive opening.
Did you cream your pants when you read that number, Ryan?
I was watching the estimates go up and up, because then we gave around like 114, and that was pretty optimistic compared to what it was supposed to be at that point. But then I'll tell you when it was. The reviews dropped. This thing started at like a 98% Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, dude, this thing is going to the moon. And it
Yeah.
did. We got 123 million opening. And yeah, the week since then, it's been doing huge each weekday. So yeah, the Odyssey is going to be a massive box office hit, which is fantastic since it's on my
banger after banger for Chris Nolan lately. In second place, live action Moana made 17.9 million. A little bit below the Odyssey.
Yep. A little bit of a gap there. And then just to round out the top three films from my roster, I have Toy Story 5, 13.7 million.
Shut up, bro. In fourth place, Minions and Monsters with 13.6 million.
Evil Dead Burn, 4.7 million.
Young Washington, 3.5 million.
The Invite also had 3.5 million.
Obsession, still there with 2.3 million.
Outgrossing Supergirl with only 1.4 million.
Shut up, bro. And then in 10th place, Disclosure Day with 1.3 million.
Indeed. All right, so for the Odyssey, if you aren't already aware, what do you think its second weekend will be?
Let me tell you, I think it's got legs. I've been trying to get tickets, and let me tell you, those theaters are packed still. Those IMAX theaters are full.
IMAX ones, yeah. We're not even talking about the 70 millimeter. We're just talking about regular IMAX.
Regular IMAX, full, bro. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go with 75.
75. Very good, very good.
What are you feeling?
Well, I know what it is.
Yeah, cheater.
But, well, if we would record earlier, then I would know. But
well, fuck you.
But
I'm going with 75, and now I'm going to Google it and see how close I got.
It makes headlines. Big headlines.
Keep going.
You know what Oppenheimer got in its first weekend?
Wasn't it like 98 or something?
Like 82 million. And the Odyssey in its second weekend.
Bro, it's already past 727 million globally.
Oh, yeah.
That is insane.
Let me tell you what as well. I'll tell you off mic a different development, but just know, I like to debate and have some arguments and whatnot, some good, healthy fun here and there. What I did over this past week is got into arguments with people that wanted the Odyssey to fail because, it cast a black woman as Helena Troy and other things like that. And so...
You know people like that?
No, online.
Oh, really. Online. Okay. I was going to say.
And so I was arguing with people that were like, oh, it's going to fail. It's going to do this, and that after the opening weekend. So it's like, we know it's going to do great. But they were there coping, being like, oh, it's going to have a terrible second week drop. It's going to do this, and that. And so I was basically trying to rage bait them constantly because I knew, I was like, this is going to go huge. There's a post that said it has to make 750 million to break even. And they're all like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to make money. Like, it's such a long way to go. And as you just said, worldwide, it's already past that. It's going to go beyond $1 billion. So we're doing great.
Huge numbers. Looking out into the future, Spider-Man is coming up. Another movie on your roster. You got a crowded summer.
On your roster?
What?
If you're Spider-Man is on your roster.
No, I had Avengers.
No, I have Avengers. You have Spider-Man.
Is that true?
Yes. Brother, you got to
check your
roster, bro. Yeah.
There's no way. I lost the card. Fuck. I had a little index card that had it written on there. What are our rosters again?
Well, you'll be happy to know there's a recording out there that has the exact...
You want me to go listen to that shit?
I can pull it up, but you have Spider-Man, and then...
I do?
I believe that's your last... you have Dune is your next and final one.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And then I have...
He said, Al-Gaib!
Avengers Doomsday. But you'll be happy to know, again, Spider-Man is going to have a record-breaking opening.
Yeah, you're goddamn right, it looks like. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
They're saying 200 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
They're saying 257 million or whatever, what Infinity War got. Guaranteed.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Word on the street is this could go 300 million opening.
Dude, that would be insane.
That is crazy. And here's the other thing. No Way Home never opened in China, right? Back then, when it was on my roster, 1.9 billion, I think it won the whole thing, that movie alone. No China. This film is going to open in China.
You goddamn right it is.
And so it's also looking like it's going to be huge business there. So this is crazy. Like I love Spider-Man. Always love Spider-Man. And I know there's been like the 5-year gap or whatever, but I'm like, I didn't know people go this crazy for Spider-Man.
Did I really pick Spider-Man? I could have sworn I picked Avengers.
You picked Spider-Man. You picked it as your first pick.
Huh.
You won the coin toss, and then you chose.
What's funny is I thought I was gonna lose because I thought I had picked Avengers, and I thought you had Spider-Man. And after the Odyssey and Toy Story 5, I was like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. He's making so much money. And he's gonna have Spider-Man. He's gonna knock me out of the water, and I'm done because nobody's gonna go see fucking Avengers. This is gonna be dog shit. But you know what? No, now I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. I feel a whole lot better now.
You think no one's gonna see Avengers? Then got some news for you as well, pal. That one's gonna go crazy as well. But
we'll see. We'll see.
You got.
Oh, I found the card.
Spider-Man's gonna come in. Oh, look at this.
I did have Spider-Man. Look at that. I have Spider-Man, Mario.
This will segue into our next discussion.
It will. I have Spider-Man, Mario, Minions 3, Supergirl, and Dune 3, and you have Avengers, Toy Story 5, The Odyssey, Moana, and Michael. You're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, I don't want to call anything now, but with the way the Odyssey's performing,
yeah.
If Avengers does what it needs to do, which based on the Spider-Man performance, I think it will. Again, like I said,
looking pretty good for you.
This is the Super Bowl. People come out to the Super Bowl, even if they don't care about all the stuff in between.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at a $5 billion roster.
That's pretty good. $5 billion?
We've never hit that before. I'm thinking $5 billion on my roster.
That's pretty good.
So let's see what else I can do to make that a reality. Because
let's see.
As we were talking, we had a lot of films come out in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of them have been doing wonderfully. Some of them not so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to invoke my wild card.
Go ahead.
And I will be discarding Moana.
Okay.
Because currently it's sitting at 230 million worldwide.
Dude.
Bruh.
Devastating. I really thought it would kick ass, and it didn't. It's been a busy summer.
It has been a busy summer, and yeah, I just think the release strategy was not wise for them.
I think had they released this one instead of Moana 2, like the animated movie, in that same slot, I think it would have done a lot better.
I think so too. Yeah, it just being a couple years after that, and then it's like why are we gonna go watch the live action Moana when we still have the animated one, and they're still making the animated ones. We kind of need the whole series to be done before they start doing the live action. So
for real,
don't think it was wise. Maybe they should have shot it and then just sat on it for 15 years and released it way later. But so Moana, I'm gonna have to discard Moana 2 again. It helped me out a lot in the roster, but this time live action Moana not helping out. So here's what I'm gonna do. You also want to invoke your wild card.
Yeah.
But I got there first, and so I'm gonna make a selection. But I'll let you know what my thought process is, and it is specifically this: The Rock has failed.
God damn it!
Well, what do you think I'm gonna say? The Rock has failed me multiple times.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise, going back to that first box office draft, 2021.
Classic.
Again, everything was kind of bad there. It made 200-some million, and it was on something. It was on streaming as well as in theaters. So it didn't do too bad, but not the best, not the greatest.
Yeah.
I had Black Adam, which also, in hindsight, compared to a lot of his recent movies, it actually performed very well. And a lot of the DC performances lately, it performed very well, like at 400 million. But also, not what I needed it to do. And then Moana 2, again, that was the exception. That one worked out. And then here with this Moana, there's maybe one other rock film that I may have picked that didn't vote so well. So clearly, obviously, there's one on the schedule later this year, Jumanji, the open world. They just released the trailer. I watched about 15 seconds of that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I can't do it. I cannot put my trust in The Rock once again.
Really?
I just can't do it. So,
interesting.
The film that I will be selecting as my replacement is going to be The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping.
Really? Please walk me through the rest of your thought process here.
So that comes out in November, around the Thanksgiving time, same as all the other Hunger Games films have. And I think this one has sparked a lot more interest than the recent one, which is well received. It made, I think, about 400 million, something like that, 370, 380 million. and so that was solid. But this one is a little bit more. It's characters that we know for sure. Hey Mitch. They have all the ones from like Catching Fire, like the Beatrice character, um, or Beatrice character. So yeah, all of those characters, their younger versions are in this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Haymitch is there. Uh, from the trailers, it looks really good. Again, the trailers, the marketing they've been putting out has been really solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the quarter quell aspect. So again, that one a couple years ago was the very first Hunger Games. A lot of it wasn't about the Hunger Games. This one, I haven't read the book. I know the book is very well received as well. Some people are saying it's like the best one in the whole series. So I think because it'll be a lot more prominently featured, the Hunger Games themselves, and because there'll be a lot of characters that people recognize by name. Also, phenomenal cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hunger Games as a series has always had strangely goated casts. So that's the case with this one. So because of that, I think the quality will be there, so people will go to see it. The intrigue factor is there. It also comes out in a relatively empty period. Like Disney has Hexed coming out, and it's an original film. Who knows if it's going to be great or not? It's definitely not going to perform like a Zootopia 2. So I don't think Hunger Games will get swallowed up by that. And then the other thing for Jumanji, well, I'll let you talk about that because it seems like that was going to be your selection.
You are correct. I'm going to put my faith in The Rock. Let me tell you, I cannot fail making this choice because honestly, Supergirl, it made $124 million.
Yeah, let's talk about that. There's no reason not to do this.
That's
what I was going to say. You had to choose something else. 124 million. That's like 2021 numbers. That's terrible.
Dude, they made enough money to cover their marketing costs and then none of the budget of the actual film itself.
Yeah.
They are deep in the hole on this one. I'm deep in the hole on this one for this box office draft. Biggest disappointment of the draft so far, if you ask me, like fell short by a long shot. I said floor like 400 million. I thought it would do like Black Adam numbers. And it did not. It bombed fucking hard. Nobody wanted to see
worse
Jason
than what
Momoa.
I thought. Again, it wasn't on my list. I was going to pick it, but I was like, oh, 300, maybe up to 500 million.
Dude, it is already available at home on PVOD. Like it's already available. It's been only a month and you can get it on at home, which is ridiculous. So the last Jumanji movie made 800 million. Again, diminishing returns. The first one made like 900 something. If this one makes like 5 or 6, I'll take it. Still better than 124, you know? I'll take the 5 or 6 if this could do poorly with. I understand your choice because Moana, not as low as Supergirl, but like maybe you want to take a risk. You don't trust The Rock anymore for some reason. But I'm gonna put my faith in The Rock. I'm gonna put my faith in Kevin Hart. I'm gonna put my faith in Jack Black. And I'm gonna put my faith in Karen Gillan. And I'm gonna say, let's go for it. Let's do it. So I'm invoking the wild card to swap out Supergirl for Jumanji, whatever the third one's called.
The open world. It's just so. It's been so long. It's been what, 7 years since the last one.
The other challenge is that it is coming up against some heavy hitters. It's December release. It comes out after Avengers
and Dune 3.
Yeah.
So
it's going to have a tough competition. I cannot see a world where it makes less than $124 million. I just can't see it.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. With Hunger Games, Battle of the Song of Snakes, it made 361 million. Again, Moana's not going to hit 300 million. So at minimum, if this performs as badly as Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it'll do more than Moana. So it'll increase my odds. But again, I think there's breakout potential. I think it's got a pretty open schedule where it's at before. It's got like 3 weeks before the other ones come out. And back in its heyday, again, Hunger Games, let's not forget, that was making 800 million in 2012, 2013, stuff like that. So if this one strikes a chord, gets viral, all the younger peeps going out to see it, then I'm hoping it'll get up to 600, maybe 700 million. That'd be a nice little snack there. But yeah, as far as the state of the race right now for the box office draft, so we just had 2 swap outs. About to have Spider-Man on the horizon soon, but how are you feeling about your chances?
I feel pretty good. I know you feel great. I feel pretty good. I think swapping out Supergirl, I'm going to actually write these down on my little note card so that I don't forget because I'm never going to listen to this episode again. Right. I'm feeling pretty good. I believe there's still a path to victory for me here. Obviously, you have a huge leap right now with the Odyssey doing great numbers and Toy Story 5 doing great numbers. But I still think the odds are there. I'm rooting for Spider-Man. I'm rooting for Dune 3 to at least put up a good fight against Avengers. And I am rooting for Jumanji to make more than $124 million.
I think you'll get that.
I think I will.
For sure.
The path is there. This is going to be a close one.
Yeah, whether it does enough to sway anything, I don't know.
What's crazy is for both of us, this is our 4th picks that are getting replaced.
It's true.
Not even our last ones.
Yeah, dude, our last ones ended up, well, mine.
Michael's doing good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then Dune, surefire bet. I mean, we know it's coming out this year, so
yeah,
you're solid on that. All right. Well, now let's dive into our discussion of the Odyssey. First, did you ever read the Odyssey?
I don't believe I have. I think I read the Iliad in high school, but I don't think I read the Odyssey. Okay. Can't remember.
What class did you read the Iliad in?
I don't remember. I just recall the Iliad being in my hands and me reading it. It might have just been for fun. I can't remember. Literally couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you a single thing that happens in either of them. I just recall, for some reason, in the banks of my memory, the Iliad being in my hands and being like, "Oh, this is the Iliad."
There you go. Yeah, I didn't read any of them.
Okay.
The Iliad, Odyssey, the one after that, the whole little, the Odysseus or ancient Greek.
Are you a big Greek mythology guy?
A little bit.
Okay.
I think
Percy Jackson.
I've always liked it. Yeah, I have read some Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
As we talk through this, because again, most recently they just had the Sea of Monsters is the one that deals with the Odyssey. They just had that season for the show, so I was pretty familiar with a lot of stuff. My memory had been refreshed, but just through cultural osmosis, it's like everyone knows the Sirens, the Cyclops, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things in there that were new to me, but
yeah, it's the OG road trip movie.
That's true. So all that stuff, the Trojan horse, very familiar with a lot of that. And then I did, so again, because of that season of Percy Jackson, and then I just watched Troy recently as well.
Oh, okay.
So that gave me parts of the Iliad, but it's like its own thing. It doesn't really follow.
It's not Odysseus' story quite.
Yeah, not Odysseus' story.
It's Achilles' story for the most part, isn't it?
Yeah,
is
and then but there's a lot of creative liberties in that as well. Because stuff was happening there that I'm like, okay. And then seeing the Odyssey, I'm like, hey, these characters are, according to Troy, are supposed to be dead. Yeah, here they are. So, yeah, I think it definitely took a different approach.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I didn't have any crazy attachment to the source material.
No, me neither.
Any of the translations thereof. There's a lot of controversy around stuff like that and whatnot. Certainly haven't read it in the ancient tongue, ancient Greek. So.
You don't speak ancient Greek?
Nope. And I never heard it as it was originally intended. It was never sung. Never had a bard come through and pull out the Odyssey and give us that.
Your middle school didn't have a bard come and sing the Odyssey to you?
No.
Ugh, you went to the wrong middle school, man.
We went to the same middle school. So yeah, which part of the school were you in when that happened?
I was in the Greek portion.
I was on the other side. Oh yeah.
I was in Little Greece. Where were you? Chinatown?
Far away. Yeah, I got lost on the way there. The trade routes were different than what I remembered, and so yeah, I got lost.
Forget it, Ryan. It's just Chinatown. Good callback. Great movie.
All right. So, what was your viewing experience like?
I wanted to see it on the biggest screen imaginable, and I did. I went to Regal Point, Orlando, which has one of the biggest IMAX screens on the Eastern Seaboard, and so I saw it on this giant 2-story screen in full IMAX, and it was awesome. It was a really, really good viewing experience.
I saw it there too. Where were you sitting? Where were you sitting?
I was sitting in H, like slightly off center to the right. So about 2/3 of the way up, off center to the right, stage right, or stage left, I guess technically.
Copy that. I think it was in row 3 or 4.
Oof, you were right up there, huh?
It wasn't too bad, but we were straight in the middle, so that was good. But
I had to go at I couldn't go at the time I wanted to go. I wanted to go at the 7:30 showing, and they're all fucking booked. So I had to go at 11 p.m. and watch this movie.
So we had
and
to
then I
do
had to go to
2.
class the next morning. So that was a rough turnaround.
Yeah.
But I did it, and it was worth it. I had a good viewing angle. I had a good screen, really, really big screen. I do kind of want to go to Waterford or Enzion and see it in 70 millimeter. I think
Mm.
Enzion is 70 millimeter IMAX. I think Waterford is just 70 millimeter. I don't think they're doing it in IMAX. So,
Well, they would both just be 70 millimeter. Enzian's not IMAX. It's just the 70 millimeter. But I've heard,
mm,
they had some things break down here and there. Maybe they got it going now.
okay,
But for me, I was like, yeah, if I'm going to go and do the 70 millimeter, I won't do it at Enzian. It's
fair enough. They
great
got it at
for.
Waterford because we did, you and I did 70 millimeter for Oppenheimer at Waterford.
We did.
That was fun.
Oh, we did. So yeah, you can do that. That was the only time I think I saw the
Yeah.
Odyssey. We didn't end up doing it in the IMAX for
Mm,
some reason. But yeah, this one, like you, I went to the biggest screen that we have available
of
to
course.
us locally, and then I saw it again last night. I
Hmm.
wanted to refresh because again, I saw that opening weekend
Of course.
no
That was a
time
while
since
ago.
then. So it's like I want to give it another go, see
Uh-huh.
how things hit in the second viewing. And let me say, the second viewing, which was just in a regular theater, it solidified for me that this film is awesome. I think
Awesome.
it's fantastic.
Sick.
Loved it. What'd you think?
I think I was maybe riding a high when I got out of the theater, and I've had time to kind of gestate about it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel this way. I feel the same way about this movie that I feel about a lot of Christopher Nolan's movie, which is that there are definitely sections of this film that are like the peak of filmmaking, like incredible, blowing my mind. I'm literally sitting forward in the seat, my jaw is dropping, it's hitting all the emotions, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other aspects that are very Nolan-y that I just don't think fit into the Odyssey specifically. I don't know how I feel about the non-linear approach, which I
Mm.
had to know was going to happen going into it. It's Christopher Nolan. I don't know how I feel about it. It's always hit or miss for me. I didn't really like it in Oppenheimer. I loved it in Dunkirk, and I know a lot of people didn't like it in Dunkirk, but I really like. I think Dunkirk is still his best movie.
Mm. Wow. Haven't seen
And
it.
then uh, I just look back at the movies of his that are more linear, and I think Inception is one that is relatively linear. It just has a couple flashbacks, and I think Interstellar is one that's relatively linear for a story that actually has kind of time travel in it. It's still like kind of just point A, point B, and I think
Yeah.
that one, from a plot standpoint, does flow a little bit better. Then I think of Memento. Memento is like revolutionary. It's fantastic. That's like a great take on nonlinear storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about the Batman movies, which are very much linear, and they're also great. So it's the last few where I think he's taking big swings with the nonlinear storytelling. I don't think it worked in Oppenheimer. I think it works sometimes in the Odyssey, but not all the time. The first like hour, I was like, please God, get me to Matt Damon. I don't care as much about what's going on at Ithaca. I know that it's important. I know that you're setting up like the emotional stakes of his return, but holy shit, I just want to be with Matt Damon doing this road trip. This is a road trip movie. I want to be with him. I want to be on the road trip. And so when we get to that, it just takes off and it's great.
Right.
Everything with Matt Damon and his crew doing the actual Odyssey is awesome. Fantastic.
Agreed. I 100% agree. Yeah, again, on the second viewing, a lot more things lock into place, and then a lot of the editing rhythms that he does, they sort of smooth out because more of why it's happening the way that it's happening.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of Nolan movies are like that. Again, I remember with Oppenheimer, I was like, I think in the second viewing, this would play a lot better. And then I never watched it for the second time. So still waiting to get back around to that. But for this one, just because the scope, scale of it, and there were some friends that wanted to see it, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it definitely hits better on the second time.
Good.
But I agree with you. That first viewing, especially that front portion where it is just a lot of setting the stage, the exposition, meeting these characters that are not Odysseus, like actively withholding us from seeing Odysseus. Like when he gets the dog, I'm just like, just show us our guy. Let us meet him a little bit. Because then when they're actually on the Odyssey, there's like a full hour pretty much where we don't see anything about Ithaca. We do go back to Tom Holland, who's at Sparta, and we get the story about Troy, but we just don't visit Ithaca for a long while. And I'm like, surely there could have been a way to interweave some of what was front loaded at the very beginning with the Ithaca stuff, like just leave that in throughout.
Absolutely. It feels like
The
an
second act.
exposition dump just to get out of the way so that Christopher Nolan can now focus on the parts of the story he wants to tell.
Yeah.
And
But
I don't know if I
it's
like that.
also because obviously it ends up back at Ithaca, so it's critical stuff, right? Our whole finale, the third act, is there, so we do need those stakes to be set. We need those character relationships to be fleshed out a little bit. But yeah, I just wish it would have been balanced a little bit more throughout the entire second act, rather than all that Ithaca stuff being front loaded, and then sort of forgotten about as we move into that second act.
Yeah.
But it
And then
does
like
play a bit better on the second time.
and then also like a lot of Christopher Nolan movies, especially the later ones, I feel like I don't really get a moment to just sit and breathe with the characters. I feel like the movie's kind of just going, which in a lot of times is great. Like the action sequences and the parts where they're interacting with the monsters, I kind of want to just go. Like I don't really want to sit there and have like a moment where the characters chat with each other. I want the action. I want to have fun. But when the characters are on the boat and I'm trying to learn more about who they are and their personality, I feel like it's paced like an action scene. And I just kind of want to sit with them. I want to sit with Matt Damon and Himesh Patel, like duking it out over the proper course of action about like their leadership styles and like what Odysseus might be failing at. Like I want more to sit there with. I want more to sit with Odysseus's guilt. And I think ultimately like the story arc that goes through here about Odysseus's guilt and his like leadership responsibilities and like turning his back on his original like beliefs to try and be the best soldier he could. I think like the guilt that's associated with that, I think that ultimately pays off well in the end. Like I'm satisfied with the arc that he goes on, and I'm satisfied the arc the movie goes on. But I think it would have hit harder if in the middle portion there were more scenes that are more dedicated to the smaller things that are irritating his crew and like bothering him about his decisions, as opposed to just constantly reiterating that you've broken Zeus's law, you're doing things wrong, you're doing things bad, and just like telling like I would like to see the crew themselves have discussions between them amongst like just like more about like their perspective. They're just not in it that much. And of course the movie doesn't allow for that because there's just not much time. It's 3 hours long. It is packed wall to wall with stuff. Like there's always something going on.
As we start moving into the spoiler stuff here, that was one of the, I don't know, full on gripes, but just one of the concerns I had was like a large portion of, especially the Odyssey, is just like his men slowly dying. And at a certain point, he's trying to actively prevent that. And it's like, I'm going to try and keep whoever is left alive. But, they're just sort of preordained to all die out. And that would be more tragic if we had more of a connection to any of those people other than, who's it, Himesh Patel. So, but then I was thinking, and I was like, is there enough time, and would I even care that much to like get more backstory on?
Again, it's a small gripe for me. It's a small gripe. I can get over it because the rest of the movie is really great.
Exactly. But so in the second viewing,
there's another version of the movie where the Ithaca stuff is like minimized extremely, and it dedicates more time to just the Odyssey itself. And we spend like 2.5 hours just with Matt Damon and the crew, just doing the Odyssey. And there's like 30 minutes in the beginning and 30 minutes in the end of like Ithaca. There's a version of the movie where it's like that. And I'm not sure. I think the guilt message of him with his crew would work better, but I don't know if it would hit as hard in relation to like his guilt with his family about leaving. I don't know if that portion of the story would hit as hard. And so I think Christopher Nolan made the choice to focus the emotional arc of the film on him and his relationship with Penelope and with Tom Holland, and minimize his relationship with his crew specifically, and just focus on the story beats of the Odyssey itself. Which that's the creative choice. You only have 3 hours. It's a tight run for a very complicated, long historical document.
Exactly. And so I think ultimately, just because we do have that, his right-hand man character, that's like clearly the one that we know the most and that we care about, and so he's pretty prominent. All the other ones, obviously the actors are there the whole time, and you can have familiar faces, but none of them are named. We don't really know anything about them. But
what's worse is they are named. They're named in the credits. We just don't know their names.
Oh, they are. Well,
they're absolutely named because they're based on characters from the book, so they're definitely named. We just don't know what their names are.
But even that, just because like the process of writing it out as well, it's like you're not just gonna have.
It's easiest to
Sailor
name the
number
character.
4. Yeah, you're just gonna name them something probably. So I was
Plus
thinking
they get paid more
in the film. Oh, well, there you go. Well, they deserve to be paid. All the stuff they were doing on
Dude,
the
yeah.
boats
The
and
crew,
whatnot.
the crew with Matt Damon, especially the ones in the Trojan Horse with John Bernthal and Matt Damon. That's a rough scene to shoot, man.
They were going through it for sure.
Yeah. The ship getting stormed out by Zeus. Oh, dude, that's a rough scene to shoot.
Absolutely.
Great scene though. Loud.
So yeah, that was one of the minor gripes. And as far as the other nonlinear stuff, I thought the Calypso, just because again, it's one of those things where there's not enough time for it, where we could get real development for Calypso and see the relationship with Odysseus play out, so that it feels a bit tragic. Like, oh, they spent 7 years together.
It's a bit out of
And
place
then,
too.
but I can see it because it's partially him, trying to remember everything, and so that's another way to have the nonlinear storytelling happen.
Yeah,
because that's in the present day, but allows us to jump back through his memories.
I don't feel like
And
I
that's
feel
also
the effect
how
of 7 years though.
right. Yeah, you see his beard very
He's
long,
a little bit longer and he's a little bit grayer,
white and
but still,
everything.
I don't like the hit of 7 years doesn't hit me as hard, especially because at this point we have been with Ithaca where they have said he's been gone for 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, him being on this island for 7 years is tragic. You could have had 7 years of getting back to home instead of just sitting here eating fucking lotus. But at the same time, I already know you've been gone for 20. So who cares where that time was spent? You're still just gone.
Right. So yeah, I think it's fair. But then it's like in those 7 years that he spent with Calypso, again, it's just we don't feel the weight of that relationship that much. Again, surely Severn's given a good performance, but
I think that
there's
section
not enough there.
Yeah, I think that section would have benefited from a linear perspective because then you could spend time just cutting together scenes of them together for like a good 15 minutes. And then the revelation that he's been there for 7 years hits a little harder because to us, I mean, our perspective, from time perspective, he's been on this island for 15 minutes. We're watching the movie. He hasn't been there that long.
Yeah.
But I mean, time has passed. We've seen time elongate. And so the hit that he's gone for 7 years hits a lot harder. And then by the time he gets back to Ithaca, the revelation that he's been gone for 20 years in total is devastating.
Indeed.
But then you don't really get a lot of Tom Holland at the beginning of the movie. He's really only in the end.
Yeah.
And then that makes it a little more... It's a very challenging film to hit the kind of emotional story beats you want to hit without that non-linear structure. Like, it's... Right. You have to be very picky and choosy, and so I understand. I understand the choices Christopher Nolan's making.
Yeah, the second time around, again, especially, I was more okay with it because I just think, in order to hit that in that structure in the way that he needs, it is kind of critical. And then it allows us, because a lot of it is, people telling stories of what went down. Like, that's how it starts. We get a little bit of the Song of Troy. And when we actually see Troy for the first time, the Trojan Horse, it's from Bernthal's perspective telling it. So that motif is there quite a lot. And so I like how, this gives us the way to connect all the dots for him on that journey. But there's some things where it's like, by that point, obviously we know his whole crew is dead. So it's not like there's tension there. But I would have liked, there's that one part where they have the prophecy. And he just sort of tells them, here are the next steps and how your men are going to die. I would have liked, I liked how in that moment he's like, well, I'll try and defy the gods, basically. I'll do whatever I can to keep them alive. This was one of those moments where I was surprised Nolan didn't do one of his trademark things of withholding information and revealing to us a little bit later, giving us the full picture, all the context all together, when you could have got the thing about the sirens, like, hey, you're going to come across the sirens. Okay, we all know what's going to happen there, right? They're going to be tempted. So if he was like, I'll figure out a way, and then he can do his wax trick and everything, and then we think, okay, like he got through that one. So now it seems like he's defied the gods once here. We don't know what's coming next. Us, the audience, but if you know the Odyssey, you would know what's coming next. But still, you would think, okay, he's gotten through it, and then it becomes a revelation for the audience as well as for the crew when that next thing happens and the 6 men get picked off, and he was like, oh yeah, I knew. And you're all going to die unless you listen to my advice here of not killing the cattle. So something like that, where it was like a little bit more attention in the ways in which the crew were going to die. And just like the extent to which Odysseus knows that and is trying to prevent that. I think that would have helped a little bit more. But again, the second viewing, because I knew everything anyway at that point, I was less bothered by it. I don't think it mattered that much. And it did go towards his guilt, right? That inevitably he did try so hard and it still was all for naught.
Of course.
So I think that was solid. But Yeah, in terms of some of the actual sequences in the Odyssey portion, which again, a lot of these I thought were fantastic. The Cyclops,
dude,
first
killer,
major one we come across,
absolutely killer,
truly killer. So you were in the exact same theater I was. The scream, was that not the loudest thing you've ever heard in your freaking life, dude?
The loudest part of the movie for me
scream.
was the storm. When Zeus is attacking them with the storm, it was like blindingly loud. It was insane.
I was extremely loud. I was also getting blinded. I literally had, because I was so close, and again, it's the dark room. It's a huge screen. Like I kept every time there's a lightning strike. I was like, good God. I was like, I feel like I'm on this ship.
Yeah, 40X.
If I was in the 40X, it would have been wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cyclops scream, I was like, I've never felt so like violated. My ears being violated by sound design in a film. It was great. Yeah. Again, expertly done. It's one of those things where like I hate it, but the reaction was supposed to make me hate it. And the other thing too, because seeing on screen all the crew members are watching that happen, and I was like, they should be on the floor writhing, holding their ears because of that noise, because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
sure,
very intense, but a great sequence. Again, I think just some of the rhythms were a little bit off there in the Cyclops, like.
You think?
That moment where half his people got out and then he like turns back to go inside because half his men were left, but we didn't really see that they got stopped.
Sure, I could see that.
I think that stuff's a little choppy.
It's a little hard to film. It's tough sequence to film, especially with a real fucking puppet. That's a crazy choice.
Very true. So yeah, extremely well done. But just some of those things too, like when he first closed the rock, and then everyone was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" It's like. It's a massive freaking Cyclops. Like you would be able to hear its footsteps of where it's going. Obviously, it's being done because it's a common thing in horror, right? You want to build that tension for sure. But I'm like, in real life, it's like, number one, even just the dimly lit fire, like you would be able to see its outline, but you would be able to hear it for sure. It's not going to sneak up on you. But either way, that was an effective little horror segment that he included in there.
Definitely fucking ugly looking.
Yeah.
They didn't do isn't the Odyssey the one where he pokes out the eye and he says, "I'm nobody," and the Cyclops is like, "Nobody poked out my eye."
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. They didn't do the "Nobody poked out my eye."
Yeah. Well, and then
maybe too cheesy.
Odysseus said when he was leaving, he was like, "By the way, it wasn't nobody. It was me, Odysseus. Get wrecked." And then the Cyclops is like, "Dad, curse him." And so Poseidon cursed him.
Okay.
And this one, when he got stabbed, he just started praying to Poseidon right then and there.
Not a big fan of the shooting the arrow at the Cyclops as you're about to leave, just because you want to take a shot at him.
Well, sometimes you act impulsively.
I guess. Took out 2 other men because of it.
That's true, and cursed them for the rest of the journey. So, not the wisest choice, but we all have flaws, I suppose.
Yep.
What do you think the giants?
I thought it was cool. I thought the reveal of like the fully grown man being a child was smart because it's like this thing's huge. How is this a child?
Yeah.
And then it's the revelation that they're giants. I thought it was cool. I thought it was filmed really well. Short, very short. It's like 3 minutes. Very
quite
short
brief.
section.
Yeah. I thought obviously we've seen it on like the posters and everything. I think that first reveal of them like walking up, fantastic.
Yeah, sick.
Everything beyond that, I think, is kind of comical. This is one of those moments where I'm like, this is bad, like genuinely bad. Like they looked not that imposing. They looked like they were on stilts, walking around, hobbling around.
Well, they filmed that, right?
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And they had the forced perspective and everything, but even then, it looked a little ridiculous. And then the stuff with the trees coming by, like there's the one moment where they got trapped by the trees, but it was like a very like thin little trees.
Yeah.
Like start bushwhacking, bro. Like
for a second I thought they were like ran into like a trap that the giants had set. And I was like, is this like a trap? Like are these little barbs that they put up with like tree sticks to like keep you from running through? I don't know. It felt very like Lord of the Ringsy a little bit, like with like the hobbits running around. Which is intentionally comical.
Yeah, but in this case, it's meant to be like, oh, they're getting destroyed and it's terrible and frightening. It just looked a little bit silly, and again, the action isn't shot the most spectacularly. And then even just the shot of them like rocking the boat was a little absurd. So like the initial vision of it, I can get behind it. Them having like the iron armor and everything, like I think that's compelling. That initial shot of them walking up, fantastic. But yeah, the actual action of it was not my favorite. My least favorite of all the stuff that they were doing on the Odyssey.
Mm.
Do you think of the Fall of Troy?
Bernthal's version or the final version?
Bernthal's version.
It was cool. It was fun. It was mostly about being in the horse, which I liked.
Indeed. Yeah.
Wait until we get to the final version, though.
You get the inside horse perspective. Again, that was the one that they had shown in front of the IMAX screening for something. And I was like, this looks fantastic. And it still hit in theaters both times. I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, that was fantastic. Dude, Agamemnon, when he walks through in his Darth Vader / Batman outfit. What a guy. What a guy. And then after that, we get Cersei.
Loved it.
Talk about the horror
loved this section. Disturbing. I don't know how they filmed them eating that food. It's like it looks like it's being forced into their mouth as they like start to slurp it. Like they physically can't stop eating it. And then like her mushing their faces to turn them into pigs. Dude, it's sick. It's awesome. Absolutely
100%
love the
agree.
sequence.
I was like,
one of the best parts of the movie. 100%.
Fantastic.
Truly and who's it? Elizabeth Morton? Is that who it is?
Samantha Morton.
Samantha Morton, thank you. She's fantastic in this.
Agreed.
Really, really great.
100%. So yeah, I love that. And everything, just to build up to it as well, of like, something's clearly wrong. Something's clearly wrong. Even as they're just walking up and they're seeing like the lions and tigers and whatnot. And then having Odysseus on his own, and then he's hunting, but he still has to do his little pluck to give them a chance to flee. He shoots it, and then he goes up, and it's just not a deer, it's a dude. And they're like, oh. And then that's when the full-on pig transformation starts. Yeah, just so gnarly. The sound design as well. Like every time there's a little,
it's crazy.
Like the crunching of their jaws as it's getting transformed. Wild. So yeah, that was great. And then his discussion with Cersei as well, I thought was really compelling. So yeah, that was one of those moments too, because you get these very short moments with, again, like all these great actors. This is one where I thought, like, yeah, you could feel the weight of a whole bunch of history and dimension to this character of Cersei just from their conversations. So I really liked all that.
Yeah.
The Hades stuff. What do you think of that?
It's okay. I didn't think that Elliot Page's character was gonna have that much screen time. I'm not gonna lie, because he died like in the middle of in the very first like 5 minutes of the movie. Literally just killed. And so I'm glad he came back. I like Elliot Page, but I guess I wasn't as compelled. I understand the whole point is to give that arc to Robert Pattinson's character, who we haven't really talked about that much yet, and give him that arc of being this like shadowy coward who's really hiding, holding a lot of confidence, but hiding behind a cowardice. I understand that. I guess it kind of hits in the end when he gives him the little stick back, but
yeah,
I didn't care so much about that. I did like hearing Agamemnon's story. I still don't know how I feel about Benny Safdie being cast as Agamemnon.
Again, it's real visually looked incredible the whole way through, and then
he started talking.
He opens his mouth, and you're like,
he's Benny Safdie.
This is like the king of kings of all the Greeks. Like you're like,
and he looks like it too when he's walking around in the armor.
Yeah,
he looks like
looks incredible.
And
imposing,
it's just Benny Safdie,
force of will and everything. But then when he's speaking, it's just like this guy's commanding.
Did you know because of this and Mario, he's currently the highest grossing actor of the year? Isn't that really funny?
That's amazing. Good for him. Is he in quick get him into Doomsday so he can solidify his status?
Give him a cameo in Spider-Man real quick.
Yeah. So
I thought that section was okay. I think you're right about the revelation. I like the aesthetics of it, like them coming out of the dirt and eating the blood.
Yes, I really like the aesthetics of it. I thought it was great. The first time around, the whole Sinon plotline I liked a lot because again I didn't expect it either. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad we're getting this added dimension. The second time through, maybe just because I was already happy with it. This time around, I wasn't as wowed by it.
It's just a lot of time committed to a crew member that dies at the beginning of the movie, as opposed to the rest of the crew.
Right, which I'm okay with because he is a major part of it. We even established that in like the flashbacks and everything. But because he's of the two crew members that are named that we know that Odysseus cares about, he's one of them. But my thought was just like his whole gripe is I died for your lies and everything. It's like, okay, well, if he told you, you still died. I mean, would you be okay then? Like, is the gripe just that he lied about what the Trojan horse was going to do, or so? I don't know. That part wasn't as convincing to me, but I do like how it established that whole idea of all the dead crew members, all the other soldiers that he had that haven't been laid to rest properly. All pissed off with him. Start chasing him down. So I thought that stuff was compelling. And then Agamemnon being the one, like, oh, take it from me, homecomings aren't what they seem to be. So like, go in caution, basically. I think that was a compelling way. I don't know if that's in the original story how that goes down, where he basically gets the heads up to be a little more cautious when he returns home. But I thought that was a compelling way to include that. So after that, we get the sirens. Phenomenal, I thought. This was
it was cool.
So amazing. Okay, you're a little more tepid on it, I guess.
It was short. It was once again just a very short section. Again, in the original story, like really great idea. Cover the ears in wax. You don't actually get to hear what they really sound like, which is kind of cool. You get to see Matt Damon bust a nut tied to that pole, going crazy there.
That's not how I just. It's a way to describe it.
It's just short. It's just a very, very short version. But no, I mean, it is aesthetically what you'd expect of the sirens. It's beautiful women laying on the rocks, singing songs really far away, and they just get attracted to them. Only one crew member pulls the wax out. Only one?
Yeah. Only one. They're all disciplined, and they couldn't hear. One got tempted.
But only one wanted to hear, I guess. Yeah. I wanted to see what happened to him, I guess. Because the sirens are supposed to be like man-eaters, like they devour human flesh. And we didn't really get to see that happen. We just see him swim away.
Yeah, we did not see that happen. I do think they moved on from it too quickly.
Yeah.
I would have liked them to settle in because, like, right after that, 2 seconds after that is when we see a whirlpool, and it's like, okay, that happened very quick. But
like, wow, I think is the whirlpool? It feels like it's like it literally, like, time wise, felt like it was like 300 feet away. Yeah. Like it's sirens and then 300 feet, and then there's the whirlpool, and it's like, can we space this out a little better?
Yeah, so I'd like more time with that, but the description, like what Matt Damon was narrating over that, like, oh, it's everything you want to hear and everything you don't want to hear, and what you want is what you already had but you've lost. All of that, and then building up to his first sort of, frightened understanding that he may not want to return home. I thought all that was beautifully done. Yeah, very elegantly done as well. With, like, when he's putting in the wax, the sound sort of drops away a little bit, and then the score, that particular theme from Ludwig Göransson, I was very on point. So that one was one of the best. The first time around, that was the first time, I think only time, that I got a little bit emotional, where it's like, wow, this is hitting. Then after that, we got the whirlpool and the Scylla monster. Wasn't a fan of that. I do think, in seeing the second time, I like how Odysseus was like, let's go for the whirlpool. And then they were like, no, let's go this other way. And he was like, nice. That's what I needed you to do. I liked that. And again, that's one of those things like, oh, that revelation coming afterwards as well. Of like, he did that because he did the reverse psychology on them.
Yeah.
To force them into the thing that would keep most of them alive, but not all of them. Was pretty compelling. But the monster itself, that was the one moment where I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's going to age well. It is practical most of the time. That one had to be CGI, I presume. But
yeah, it just looked kind of rough. I mean, you just don't really. It's just like looks like tentacles out of the cave.
Yeah, which I think is what Scylla's supposed to be or whatever. But yeah, I wasn't wowed by that one too much.
Yeah, me neither.
No Cyclops.
And then the section with the sun god cattle, where they pull into the island, demanding Odysseus lands the ship, and then they get marooned there because the wind dies down, and they're forced to eat the cattle to survive. They break down. Isn't that sad? It's tragic. Shouldn't have landed.
Yeah, the fact that the wind, kept them there basically, so they were trapped, and it was just a matter of time until they were gonna cave and eat the cattle.
Yeah.
So sad. And then just that the defeatedness as well of Odysseus being like, I
Did you
wanted you
really
to
think?
live.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that part too. Like, well,
Did you really think the gods wouldn't see you because you hid?
yeah. And they're like, we thought
You wouldn't
we'd
see
hide
us.
from you. He's like, well,
And then they end up dying.
they sure do. Brutal, brutal death. But yeah, I thought that one also hit harder the second time as well because I could hear a little bit more as well. Again, in the IMAX theater, the sound was really intense. But hearing him plea with Odysseus of like beg for forgiveness, like pray to Poseidon right now, like we were all about to die, but Odysseus wasn't doing that. But even if he did, I mean, I don't think it was going to change anything at that point. So, very compelling stuff. As far as Ithaca, going back to Ithaca, so we have Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland.
Yeah, let's talk about
Thoughts
the Ithaca
on these
players.
guys? Yeah.
Tom Holland doing all right. Robert Pattinson doing great. Great villain.
Okay.
Tried and true. Anne Hathaway, awesome. Really good. Really strong supporting players here. Building up the emotionality of Odysseus' return, which is really great. John Leguizamo, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's very good. He's not my favorite. Yeah, watching it the second time as well, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. This is one of those where it just feels very artificial. There's a couple scenes where I was moved by all of them, all the people you just mentioned there. Tom Holland, I think, was very hit or miss.
Yeah.
I think when he's like crying after hearing John Bernthal's story, I thought that was very good. And he was like asking, like, so there's been no word basically on Odysseus. I thought that was very good. When there's the eventual return and he's like, you're my father. I thought that was very good. But there's a lot of moments in there where I don't know if he was directed this way or just what was going on, but he says things, it's just some things are said very flatly. Like when he first sails out to go to Sparta to hear news, he's like, my father's out there. I can feel it in the waves and the wind. We'll find him. And I'm like, you don't sound very passionate, enthused, or you're even believing yourself. And then they make him say, you have wise eyes, Athena's eyes, like 3 times in the film. He says it the exact same way every time. And I'm like, what are we doing? It's like a soundboard.
Yeah. It's like his catchphrase. Speaking of Athena, thoughts on Zendaya?
Zendaya. I liked her a lot. I thought the very beginning, like, and this comes to like just too many characters thrown in very at the beginning. Like, we see Odysseus for the first time, you know, in current time, where he's walking on the beach. We see Calypso walking up, and then Zendaya pops up and is like saying something. He's like, "Why don't you talk the way we understand?" And she's like, "Who doesn't understand fire and waves?" And I was like, "This is not hidden for me." And she disappears, and I'm like, "What's going on?" What I loved is her looks, like whenever she appears and she just looks very disappointedly at Matt Damon. I think it happens after the Giants hit. I'm like, that's fantastic. And then much later on, you know, we get to the revelations of what really went down to Troy. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very emotional, very heavy stuff. So
let's talk about that. I want to talk about that. The entire scene where Matt Damon sits down and speaks to Anne Hathaway, pretending to be a beggar. And then you get that flashback to Troy and you get his version of Troy. I'm like seated fully forward in my seat and my jaw's dropped. It's the best part of the movie. It is fucking phenomenal.
It was pure brilliance. And I was like coming out of the film the first time, I was like, that's phenomenal. Because I was waiting for that. I was like waiting for like, where's the moment that's going to like hit, click, everything's going to come together.
Yeah.
And this was it.
Yeah. It was
incredible. The second time through, seeing how, you know, much more of that stuff was, the groundwork for it was laid down. I was like, this is beautiful. In particular, I think, and again, it's good writing, it's good filmmaking, the stuff with the bow, right? Where he plucks it, and then obviously that's a big moment when Anne Hathaway's walking away, and then he finally strings the bow and then plucks it, and it's like, wow, like everyone's gonna clap for that moment, right?
Yeah.
Great stuff, right? It needs to be in there for that alone, and it works fantastically. But the characterization that we get of like why he does that very early on in the film, of he wants to give the animals a chance to fight, right? He's doing it because he wants to be fair, he wants to be honorable. Obviously, the Trojan horse is the complete opposite of that. Like, it is not a warning to the enemy that you're about to fight. It is a complete lie. It's a false sense of security that you're giving to them, so that you can deceive them and then kill them all. And what he's saying in that speech is he's describing it all to Penelope. It's like, we 100% broke Zeus's law. So that's another reason why the Zeus's law thing was so prominent throughout, which I think was brilliant. So we've broken Zeus's law. And then by doing that, by essentially desecrating what should have been an offering of the gods, we've defied the gods, defied Zeus's law, all of that. But we've also completely taken away their ability to escape or fight back. Like, instead of it being a fight, it became a hunt. It was a pure slaughter. It was predator killing prey. And so I thought that was brilliant. Again, the way he was narrating it, beautiful. All the imagery there was beautiful. The score that was beautiful.
Dude, the music was pounding.
The revelation as well of her being like, you are the sea people. Like, you're the reason why there's this spread of marauders and raiders that are not honoring Zeus's law and attacking all these villages, all that. Like, it came from that decision to do the Trojan horse, which is a brilliant tactic, right? But it depended upon their faith in the other side having a peaceful offering rather than, doing something to dupe them and ultimately kill them. So I just thought it was great because it's one of those things, like, it's the Oppenheimer story, right? But everyone knows going into Oppenheimer, nukes are bad. Like, we know that, and we know the guilt that Oppenheimer is going to have from it.
Yeah.
But with the Trojan horse, again, think of it. Like, you don't, at least for me, like, you hear the
I've
Trojan
never
horse,
considered the Trojan horse being a bad thing.
Yeah, you think of it like, oh, it was like crazy, brilliant tactic. And then also it's 3,000 years ago in the past and probably a fictional story anyway. So it doesn't carry the weight of like what we are living through now with nuclear war and everything, like the threat of that always being on the table.
Right.
So for Nolan to apply that same thing to this moment of like the Trojan horse, like, okay, let's craft a society where Zeus's law, right? You respect everything and gods are considered real, right? Everyone's believing them. So you take an offering meant for gods and use that as a way to do a sneak attack, basically. Dupe the enemy, kill them all off. Of course, that would be like the worst thing anyone's ever done in that world at that time. The worst thing you could possibly do. And so framing that as like the fall of this period of civilization, right? The end of the Bronze Age. I just thought it was brilliant. I'm like, this is so incredible. And again, I haven't read the Odyssey, but obviously I think a lot of that stuff is Nolan's additions to it. Because when the Odyssey was being said, or whenever Homer wrote it down, I mean, it's not like they knew they were in the Bronze Age. That was one thing when Matt Damon was like, the Age of Bronze is ending. I'm like, all right. I'm like, you're in the Bronze Age, my guy. But them seeing like we have basically like our way of life, the way we had lived is now falling apart because of what I did. Like now no one is committing to Zeus's law, which kept some measure of like order and respect and, peace among peoples. I just think it was a brilliant decision for Nolan to do. Very fascinating in context of Oppenheimer. But yeah, that was the moment where I'm like, this truly has hit another level. So yeah, the Odyssey, fantastic.
And that final action scene where he fights all the suitors. Thoughts on that?
Not my favorite. I think Nolan hand-to-hand combat, as we've seen in the Batman films, has always been quite weak. And I thought this was pretty ridiculous. There was one, I don't remember it too well, but a couple years ago, there was The Return with Ray Fiennes as Odysseus. By the way, again, Matt Damon in this film, jacked, shredded, insane. This man's 55. Absolutely. Seen, like, he's had a career his whole life. We've seen this dude when he was like 20. He never looked like that. What are they doing to these people in their late 50s, 60s? Obviously, they're on juice. Obviously, it's crazy, but like, we don't need that.
Shit. Peptides, bro.
We don't need that. Like, he was on that island with Calypso for 7 years. Why would he be working out like nonstop to get that build? Like, he would have a.
When you're committed to the life, bro, you don't give up.
He's eating.
When you're committed to the look and the shred and the gains, you do not give up, bro.
Lotus flowers would have bloated his face, bloated his belly, and everything. Like, come on. So,
what are you, fucking CinemaSins guy? Come on.
I'm just saying, like, I respect the commitment for Matt Damon, but I'm like, let the man chill out. He's 55 years old. I'm just chill.
Well, you can chill out.
He does not need to work that hard for this. But anyway, Ray Fiennes also jacked like crazy in The Return. And obviously that also is him fighting the suitors. I believe the action in that was more convincing and more intense than what was going on here.
Yeah, it's like deceivedly exciting because the music is just fucking going crazy.
The music's going crazy. You got a
it is just a little. It is a little hard to follow. I'm not
like, there's 35 people in this room. Odysseus is goated for sure, but it's like also his whole thing is he's supposed to be the most clever warrior. He's not like it's the whole thing of like Achilles. They say this in Troy as well, which I don't know if they say in the Odyssey, but where they're like, yeah, Achilles is the greatest warrior, and then Odysseus is the smartest. Like his whole thing is I outsmart people, hence the Trojan horse. He's just doing a 1v35. Like that was his ultimate plan. Like I feel like he would have had a little bit more of how can I outsmart these suitors rather than just let it be a brawl where I don't care who you are, you're not making out there. Come on. So,
I do love every time the guy drops weapons down from the second floor to them. Every single time Robert Pattinson goes, "Get the swords, spears."
Again, he's not doing anything himself.
Shields, get the shields.
He's telling everyone else to do it. Yeah, that was hilarious. Very comical. Some of the best. The best comedy that was going on there. Dude, his beggars line has been all over the social media. Did you see that?
No, which line is it?
Somebody get these beggars out of here.
Oh, yeah.
In the film, the first viewing, when I saw that, I laughed at it because I'm like, that's a great line delivery. And then it spread a little bit as well. People are saying they're like, he hits beggars and plate lickers. He said that last.
He said plate lickers. Yeah, that one was
saying
really
them
funny.
Like slurs. He's going crazy with them. So, yeah, he was fantastic with that.
Love Robert Pattinson.
And then again, the whole Telemachus. So here's my other question. I think this was my concern with The Return, and I guess it wasn't a concern in Troy, but Telemachus is how old?
I have no idea. He's got to be like 20 something.
At least 20, right? Because we said 20 years, and he was a baby when Odysseus was still there.
At least 20 something.
The whole plot is about maybe things work differently in 3,000 years ago, but Telemachus is over 20 years old. When does he come of age? He should already be sitting on the throne. What are we doing? And suitors are trying to marry Penelope as if that makes them king. Again, he's already had an heir, Odysseus has. So it doesn't matter how old or not old that person is going to be heir. And then,
I don't know.
Penelope sitting on the throne as the queen regent for that time.
Yeah.
Although it seems like the elders, who we never see, are really in control. But how old does Telemachus have to be the king? Like, what are we talking about? And this is way back when. Like, they would be kings. It's been a little different, but we've had kings that are children or like 10 years old or something, like King Richard or whatever. So why is Telemachus not able to be king? Why is that a whole plot point? So I don't know. I guess things were different then, but that's always been my, anytime I heard stuff about the Odyssey, I was like, why? Why is that a thing? Why is that the plot point? Why wouldn't they have already killed him? Like, that's part of the thing here. They're like, oh, we need to kill him off. Why didn't they do that?
Killed him off when he was like 10, bro.
Yeah. I guess they waited 10 years because like, oh, so, okay, he would have been 11 or 12 or 13. You would kill him off then, and then now no one's standing in your way to inherit the throne. So that always has been a question, which I don't know anyone can answer, except maybe Homer. So we can dial him up, bring him on the show, get him on. But any other plot points you want to talk about, discuss?
No, it's pretty much the whole movie.
And we did. Yeah, we covered quite a lot.
Yeah.
I would have liked in that Fall of Troy second version when we're seeing it through Matt Damon's eyes, a little bit more of the mayhem and the chaos and whatnot.
You and me both, brother.
A lot of it was...
I could have sat in that sequence for like 20 minutes.
I thought it would have been great, but I wish they would have shown... Because again, this whole thing is about him being the guilt of like, oh, this was a slaughter. 10 years of rage unleashed in like one night.
I want to see more of what his eyes are seeing.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of like the buildings falling, and we see again
we hear it. We hear it a lot. We hear a lot of their voices scream. We don't see much.
Getting beheaded and everything, but like we should have seen people like even some of his men, which would have made it like pretty complicated. But like some of his men, some of the crew that we were feeling sad about when they got killed earlier in the film, going in and doing these awful things, like infiltrating the homes and stabbing the random family, like not even the soldiers that are there, but just random family members that are trying to hide, and then they're getting killed by these invading soldiers. Like that's what we should have been seeing more of to make that hit even harder. But as it stands, again, I think that's a brilliant scene, and Nolan's whole recontextualization of Odysseus as like this guilt-ridden war veteran figure. Like, I think that was super compelling.
Yeah, I agree.
Open scale, obviously unimpeachable. So, yeah.
How many Zeus's law violations out of 5 are you giving this movie?
Giving it 4.5 out of 5.
I am also giving it 4.5 out of 5.
Oh,
the reason being, I think the majority of this movie is a 4 out of 5, but there are definitely a couple 5 out of 5 scenes that just give it that leg up. Like the Cersei scene and the fall of Troy from Matt Damon's eyes. Like, there's some moments where this movie just fucking shines, bro. But for me,
looking over
4.5
at Athena. They hold hands.
Yeah.
And then she disappears after to explain it. Incredible.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all the time we have. If you'd like to give your thoughts on the show, you can email us at theboxofficeshowpod@gmail.com.
Title theme for the show is Syntax by Tristan.
And if you like the show, please give us 5 stars on whatever podcast app you're listening to, and be sure to tune in next week. Have a great rest of your day.